You guys added a humongous human being to the offensive line room. Do you have any thoughts on Amarius joining this room? And I don't know if you know much about him.
Yeah, had a great time. Went out with him to Carlo and Johnny's, me, Orlando, and EB. Met with Mims and his family. What a fantastic addition. Obviously a huge man, but a 21-year-old who's coming in, hungry to work, and I couldn't have been more pleased with the dinner we had. Really, really excited for him to get in this room and have the career he's going to have.
What was your biggest takeaway from that dinner?
His maturity and excitement and enthusiasm. I think, as a guy who's 10 years older than Amarius now, I was a little bit nervous about having to relate to guys that young, but I mean, he was amazing. Obviously, comes from a program that wins a lot, and really, he's just going to be an awesome addition to this room. We got the Cincinnati skyline at tackles, so yeah.
We're going with that. Is that what we're going with?
I think now it was Brown County when it was just the Browns, but I think now that it's now that we have 3 at 6'8" or above, we got to go with the Cincinnati skyline. Plus, as their team sponsor.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Obviously, we heard Zach after the draft was over Saturday night saying the most important thing a rookie can do is ask questions of all the veterans, be in their ear all the time. As an offensive lineman, what are the questions he needs to ask guys like you?
Well, I think he's in such a unique spot in the fact that we have 2 guys who've done it at such a high level for a long time with his body type. I think, I'm going to be able to answer some of the macro questions of navigating life as a professional athlete and an offensive lineman in this system. But when it comes down to the micro techniques and how to win at his position, a position that I've never played and certainly have never been 6'8". And I think that he has 2 great resources of guys that have done it at that big for a long time. So I think he's set up for major success.
How much steak was consumed at that dinner, though?
That was a lot of seafood, too. Ruby's always does it right, though. I think Jeff would have been mad if we took him anywhere else.
You also added a tiny human to your life
Yes.
in the last few weeks. What has dad life been like? How have you been navigating that stuff?
It's been amazing. Pretty good timing for a baby to come. Penny and my wife's been an all-star. Rachel and Penny have been the all-star crew over there holding it down. It feels weird leaving the house anytime, but obviously the PA negotiated a good schedule. I get to be home by 11:30 and relieve Mama for the afternoon.
You mentioned it's hard to leave the house, so it was that important to you to be at Amarius' dinner?
It was, yeah, to welcome him and make him feel comfortable and ready to go. It was a Friday night. I got to sneak out a little bit, but I can't speak highly enough about this guy coming in. Really, really, I think he's gonna be a slam dunk for this franchise for a long time.
How important, here's a question on the macro level, when you have a quarterback like Joe and understanding protecting him is job number 1 for this franchise, when you do add another very capable player in that, how important is that to the room just to have depth, to have talented guys who are capable of doing the job that you need him to do?
I think, this is I think a lot of NFL success comes down to offensive line attrition, and that's kind of hit us a few times since I've been here at least, and even the year before in the Super Bowl run. So to have as many good bodies as we can add to this room is very important. I'm sure he's the great thing about his situation is, we're not relying on a 21-year-old right away to come in and be the guy. I'm sure he will be and be ready to, but at some point he will play. And I think it's just a very, very comfortable situation for him to come into, learning from 2 of the best and 2 of the biggest. And, when it is time to jump out there, he'll be ready to go.
So much is made, obviously, about his size for obvious reasons, but I would imagine being that big, there's also some challenges. Like, what are some of the things you have to deal with when you're that big?
Well, I think that'd be a better question for Trent or Orlando. As probably at tackle, it can be a double-edged sword. I've seen a lot of successful tackles that are 6'3", but now lately I've had a lot of giants out there. I'm going to be looking kind of short on the field this year. I might need to throw a couple lifts in my shoes, but I think just leverage and using your length to your advantage and not letting guys get into your chest. It's kind of like a long boxer compared to like a Mike Tyson, keeping people at bay. But I think that those would be more of like the micro questions that he would have for Trent or Orlando.